Hey folks, Turbine Guy coming back at you from the Hennepin County Courthouse once again. Today I was down here for Long Lake's contempt of court hearing in regards to Orono and the recruitment of Long Lake firefighters and building a station next to a station in Navarre without including Long Lake. Now the first thing the judge came out and said, a little bit of lecturing, she said, hey, here's the deal. I'm probably going to enforce a second mediation. I know you guys went through one and I know it didn't go anywhere, but most likely we'll be doing another mediation. Then she leaned forward and said pretty strongly that she will enforce the contract. And that's a contract between Orono and Long Lake for Long Lake Fire Department services that she issued an order on before. Now, Long Lake's lawyers were up to bat first, and they talked about their three big issues. The first, like I said, Orono's been recruiting Long Lake firefighters and has hired a number of them on board. And an issue with that is Orono says, yes, you can be in both fire departments and work in both, but if you're on duty at Orono, you cannot answer a Long Lake call. And that specifically interferes with the contract and the judge's order not to interfere with the Long Lake Fire Department service. Second issue they brought up was Fire Station 2, like I said, where Orono's already actively planning, and the judge had to say that because the Orono lawyer kept saying at one point, well, you know, we don't have a plan, we don't have plans for the fire station or the other building over there yet. And the judge is like, yeah, but you have a plan to build a fire station and you haven't included Orono. That's what Long Lake's upset about, is construction going on at the Navarre substation, the number 2 fire station, without being included at all to make sure it does not affect the current service levels that the Long Lake Fire Department offers in Navarre. The third issue is that Orono wanted to strike a bunch of stuff that Long Lake had recently submitted, and it turned out that that's not really what Orono wanted. Orono wanted to be able to supplement some of the affidavits they did with a few others, and that this contempt of court hearing can go on without an order to show cause or evidentiary hearing. And the judge kind of bought that argument that, yeah, we're going to decide. Now the judge ruled today that there is no ruling today. She's going to allow a week for those 4 affidavits or declarations to get in from the Orono attorney, and then she will take it under advisement and rule. But Judge Miller did have a few interesting questions because, you know, the Orono attorney was like, he almost sounded like Dennis Walsh, waxing on about this need and that need and blah and this blah and all that and 85% and all these other silly things without referring to the actual order issued, which said you can't recruit. And the judge had to interrupt him at one point and go, okay, yes, but here's my question. How is recruiting not recruiting? To which, of course, the Orono attorney really had no answer other than say, well, they applied previously. And she did respond at one point and go, well, whether or not they were applied previously, they were not hired at that point. They were hired later, and there were recruiting activities going on. As I said, she asked him, why is recruiting not recruiting? She also pinned the Orono attorney down pretty hard on why the city of Orono chose not to communicate with the city of Long Lake when it comes to building that second building on the fire station number 2 site. She said the court is quite befuddled. Well, you have not been communicating with Long Lake. And that is the whole problem. Orono's got its head down. It's going to do what it's going to do. It really doesn't care much about the court orders or anything else. It only cares about spending our money, which is what we were here doing today. And what a tremendous waste of time, effort, and money. I mean, we had city staff here. We're paying for lawyers. We're going to have to go through another mediation. The madness never ends. So it was an interesting hearing today, watching Orono get smacked down by the judge a couple of times. And the crazy thing was watching Walsh sitting there shaking his head in the background, and then putting his finger where it don't belong as he's trying to find a brain cell or two. So it was an interesting hearing today, watching Orono get smacked down a couple times by the judge. As I said, no orders coming out today. She's going to take it from the bench in about a week when she gets these other documents, which I really don't think are going to make much of a difference because they did recruit. They admitted recruiting. They've been planning plans for the fire substation number 2 and not including Long Lake. And that's a direct violation of the judge's order that she read here in court. Orono, the litigious city. Orono, the vexatious litigant. Turbine Guy, signing off.